Good morning, everyone. So today is, I don't even know what day it is. It is Wednesday, June the 17th, and I'm going to do a little bit of a whip update. And I'm also going to do Cyndi's unusual tag, I think it was called. Kids are off to school. Exam time is going on. Well, except for Emma, she's still in bed. Typical teenager, sleeping in. She doesn't have an exam at all today, so today's a study day for her. Because our kids don't finish school this year. I think the very last day when they actually get their report cards is the 26th. So this week is exams. Next week we'll be finishing up exams into midweek. Then they have like a fun day, like a sports day sort of thing, which is all outdoor activities and fun. And then they go in for half a day, which is just their report card. So I thought I would do Cyndi's tag and a little bit of a whip update, so bear with me. First thing, I have little notes here because I had to write down Cyndi's questions. So the first thing I'll do is talk about my whip. Because I've put down a few other things in order to concentrate on my father's boat project. I'll insert a picture of what the finished pattern is supposed to look like, because otherwise what I show you as a whip is just a blob of color, because you can't actually see anything yet. At least I don't think you can see anything yet. I can see some of the shoreline, but there's no boat in my picture yet, so it's a little confusing. So I'll insert a picture of the finished, what it's supposed to look like when it's done. And now I'll insert a picture as to where it was a couple weeks ago when I did my end of May update. And this is it now. This is where I am now. There it is. So as you can see, grass, rocky coastline, down into water. It's going pretty good. This whole parking thing is, like I said, it's the first time I've ever done it, but it's working because of the amount of confetti that is in this is horrendous. Down here it's starting to turn into some blocks of color, but this is just outrageous confetti. So this is all one page completed to about here actually, because half of these stitches are on the second page, and then because this column of 10 was split between two pages, and then this is the second column in the second page. So first page, 5,250 stitches out of a total of 38,052 stitches that need to be done for this project. So it's getting there. But I am so focused on getting this done. And I know his birthday, like I said before, is not until December, but I have to have it done in time to wash it and get it professionally matted and then framed for his birthday. His birthday is the 12th of December, so, and it's his 70th birthday, so it's not a project where I want to say to him, oh, you know, I did something nice for your birthday, but it's not ready. I want to have it ready. So I'm very focused. When I get another maybe page or so done on this, I might break it up with my Record Girl whip. I put her down for the time being. I don't want to put myself in a position where I'm stressed out about trying to get this piece finished for his birthday. So I've put down my Record Girls for the time being, and I'm really concentrating on getting this one done. So that's where I am on that whip. Father's Day is coming up this weekend for those of us in, I guess, Canada and the United States. I'm not sure if the UK is different date for Father's Day, but I think Australia is different for Father's Day. But Father's Day is this weekend. It's actually the day after my birthday this year, because my birthday, sorry, it's the day, Yeah, it is the day after my birthday this year. My birthday is on the 20th of June, and Father's Day is on the 21st this year, because it's always the third Sunday in June. So, my first coffee of the morning, so you'll have to excuse me if I have a few sips along the way. So for Father's Day this year, my kids already had a gift picked out that they wanted to pick up for my husband. It was a watch. And I went out and got that. But because I was doing a Clouds Factory design for my nephew, the one with the Doctor Who, which I'm going to do for Christmas, because I was working on that for my nephew, I fell in love with a couple of patterns from their site besides that. They are so cute. They're like cute little stitches. So I've been working on these a little bit at work. So I have a couple of finishes, which I will show you. The first one is the Jaws pattern from Clouds Factory. And I have it completely done. I just need to iron it and frame it, which I will do probably on my first day off, which is going to be Friday, because I work nights tonight and tomorrow night, and then I'll be off on Friday, so I'll do this on Friday. So this is Jaws. There he is in all of his glory. So we've got Clint and Hooper and Jaws and Brody and the boat. And the little quote says, "We're going to need a bigger boat." So I thought that turned out pretty good. I know the lighting is really bad in here today. It's very cloudy, very overcast. I had to turn on the overhead light, which is kind of a yellowy bulb, so it doesn't give off a real good lighting. But anyway, so that's that piece all done. Yes, I do have tape on it. I know, horrible. But for something that's a really quick little stitch that isn't going to take me long to do, I don't go through the trouble of basting all my edges because it's a waste of time. I just stuck a little bit of tape at the top and bottom to keep it from fraying too much while I was stitching. I'll pull that off now and iron it out, and away we go. So that's that one. Then my husband and I and the kids are actually here. Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, those movies. We absolutely love them. I think they're so funny. So Clouds Factory did not have a Shaun of the Dead pattern, but I wanted to do one that would kind of go with the Jaws one. Like it would have the same look, like the same type of characters. So I printed me off some handy dandy graph paper. And I designed a Shaun of the Dead pattern. So we've got Shaun and Ed and their cricket mallet and the shovel, and it says, "You've got red on you," which is a famous quote from that movie. And then I stitched it. So this is my next finished object, my next FO. So here it is. There's Shaun and Ed and "You've got red on you." So I thought that turned out pretty good. Characters are very similar in size. They're actually the same amount of stitches across and the same height. And yeah, so I thought that turned out pretty good. So I can't wait to get that ironed now and put in a little frame. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little collage of these downstairs in our family room, where our TV setup is with our DVDs and all that sort of stuff, because we have a huge, massive DVD collection. So, as my husband's a real movie buff, like, and so am I, and the kids, like, they're just huge movie buffs. So I'm going to put a little corner collage of Clouds Factory designs, I think, in the corner, and have them all staggered. So my plan is to do like the Ghostbusters one probably, and Back to the Future. I don't know, there's a few others that I saw as well. Princess Bride, some Star Wars ones. So yeah, so they're just quick little stitches, and I think they're really cute, and I think they would look great down there, kind of in a staggered little collage on the wall. So that's my plans for those. So that's my finishes. That's what I got done so far this month. Now, what else? Taking away from my stitching time has been a baby blanket, which is killing me to do. Oh my God. I don't know why I get myself into this stuff. I tell people I'll do stuff for them all the time, and then time starts to run out on me because I procrastinate and I don't really want to do it, and then I'm in the situation I'm in now. So I have a friend of mine whose niece is having her first baby, and she asked me if I would crochet her a baby blanket, which I am doing. So begrudgingly, because now it's taking away from my stitching time. I should have done it in the colder months when I had a lot of desire to kind of sit around on my ass and do nothing, and then I would have had the blanket done in no time. But now I've been procrastinating, and now I don't want to do it because I'm too busy stitching, because my stitchy bug is like, furiously, like frantically wanting me to stitch, and now my crochet is saying, no, you can't, you have to do this project. So I'll insert a picture of the baby blanket. It's not cross-stitch related, but it's affecting my stitching. So it is kind of cross-stitch related, I guess. So I'll insert a picture of the blanket just so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, next thing I wanted to talk about. Okay. The generosity of you guys in the Flosstube community is beyond, okay? I've said it before and I'll say it again. I've made a couple of really, really good friends through Flosstube, through a couple of the Facebook communities, cross-stitch communities. And I chat with a couple of people on Skype, and we cross-stitch together. It's been great, and I absolutely love it. But it still surprises me the amount of support and the amount of enthusiasm that other people have for each other's projects, and the encouragement that everybody gives everybody else. It's just amazing. With that being said, I last month, I guess, I had posted a picture on my Instagram account, and I think I posted it in Stitch Mania, and I posted a picture in Cross Stitch It's Fun of a project that I've kind of taken on to make a Monopoly board. Years and years ago, I had a copy of the original Monopoly board chart. My intent was, at some point, once we were settled away in our home and all of that sort of stuff, I would stitch the chart and turn it into a game table, like a big large square coffee table downstairs in our family room, and have the cross-stitch Monopoly board mounted under glass on this coffee table. Of course, all up here, right, where I was, constantly, my brain is constantly, doing one of those. It's like a hamster on a wheel, constant. Anyway, so a couple of months ago, I decided to pull out that Monopoly chart because my plan was I was going to kit it up as my birthday present this year. I was going to order the material that I would need and get my flosses all ready and that sort of thing. I might not stitch it until later in the winter, like once my dad's project was done and I was going further into the Record Girls, but I was planning on it possibly being my next large whip that I was going to start. Anyway, I've torn my house apart. I cannot find my Monopoly chart. And there is at least a dozen others that I cannot find, that I know were probably together in a binder or something of that, because I tend to put my charts in like these plastic slip covers so they're all together and I can flip through them, and they're in binders. I'm missing an entire binder. I cannot find it because I wouldn't have taken the chart out, and there are other charts that I know I had that are missing. But the only one that I was so devastated about was the Monopoly chart. I was just devastated because you can't get it anymore. It's not in print anymore. You cannot buy it. I did find a couple listed on eBay that people were getting rid of, that they were charging outrageous prices for. Plus I would have to pay shipping, which is not cheap to get stuff shipped here to Canada. So I said, well, I just cannot see me paying for that much. So what I did was I took the dimensions of my coffee table that I have down in my family room, and I decided I would chart the Monopoly board myself. And so I gridded it all out. I printed out the graph paper. Actually, it's the same graph paper that I used for my, these guys. And I gridded it all out so that I could stitch it, and it will turn out to be 24 inches wide by 24 inches high. So it'll be a perfect square, just like a regular Monopoly board, but larger than a regular Monopoly board. Because I think a regular Monopoly board is like 18 and a half or 19 inches when I measured it, because I actually measured it. But I charted it out with my colored pencils and, on my graph paper, and I worked it out so it'll be, when I stitch it, it'll turn out to be 24 by 24. 2 feet by 2 feet, which is perfect because this table that I have is about 2.5 to 3 feet by the same. So I'll have the Monopoly board in the center, and there'll still be a wooden border around the outside where you could lay like your drink or your, your Monopoly pieces and your whatever when you're playing a game on it. So I posted a picture of my crazy idea that I was going to chart this Monopoly board. I had the Monopoly board out and graph paper out. And I had said how I had had the pattern. I had lost it years ago and I couldn't find it. Well, I almost passed out. 2 people came back and said that they had a copy of the chart. One lady by the name of Rita, and Rita, I'm sorry I don't remember your last name, on Facebook, I think she's on Cross Stitch It's Fun, posted to me that she had a Monopoly board that she designed herself, because she was in, I guess, the same situation, didn't have a copy of the original chart and wanted one. She had a PDF copy of a chart that she designed herself of a Monopoly board, and she would email it to me. She was nice enough to gift it to me. I was ecstatic. Because even though I didn't know if it would turn out it wouldn't be like the 24 by 24 inches I would need, I could use her symbols for like free parking and, maybe the get out of jail free, like those sorts of logos. It would make it so much easier to transfer, like to use her logos, but put them on my board. I was beside myself. I was so ecstatic. So she emailed me a copy of the PDF, and thank you so much, Rita. Your chart looks amazing. It looks great. The colors look really good. She included a picture of like the design, like what it looked like. It's just great. It looks fantastic. Secondary to that, on the Stitch Mania site, this woman who I've never met, I only know her from posts on Stitch Mania, by the name of Brenda. And Brenda, your last name escapes me at the moment, and I didn't write it down. Oh, maybe it's on your envelope. Oh, maybe it's on here. Gessick? Am I saying that right? Jessic. I don't know. Anyway, Brenda posted this from the Stitch Mania site. I nearly went out of my mind. She says to me, Pam, I have the original chart with the corrections, because I knew the original chart had some mistakes in it. She said, I have the original chart with corrections. If you would like to borrow it, I will mail it to you. I nearly fell off my chair. Number one, that she would trust a total stranger with a hard copy of her original chart, and that she was willing to mail it to me. I'm just flabbergasted at the generosity of people. It amazes me. So Brenda mailed me the chart, and it showed up this week. And I'm ever so careful with this, and Brenda, you will have it back in mint condition, I absolutely promise you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to utilize this chart and Rita's, I guess, to put the design work to fill in the chart that I've got made. So that way my chart will still show up it'll still turn out the right size for my table that I have, that I want to mount this on. But this is the original chart that she sent. This is it. She sent the original chart. I'm not going to open it up and show it to you, but this is the original booklet. It's in amazing condition, right? And she sent me the printout of the corrections to the chart. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm floored by the generosity, like I said, and the enthusiasm that other people have for total strangers' dilemmas and projects. So, thank you so much. This is going to be well loved. I am going to, over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to finish charting mine using this pattern and the PDF chart that Rita sent me. I'm going to finish charting mine. That way I don't have to hang on to Brenda's pattern until I'm finished, because it could take me God knows how long, because like I said, I'm concentrating on my dad's project right now. So I'm going to finish charting, and then I'm going to mail this back to Brenda as soon as possible so that she gets it back in mint condition the way she sent it to me. So thank you so much, Brenda, for that. All right, so that's everything I had to talk about that was stitch related for me. I guess now I'll do Cyndi's tag, and then my video will be over, and I'll go about my day. So, Cyndi's tag. What is the strangest place you've stitched? Strangest place I've stitched. I've stitched a lot of places. Airplanes, doctor's office, work. And in parking lots in my car, waiting for kids at, soccer games or riding lessons or something like that. Because my daughter used to ride horses, and she used to have lessons every Sunday afternoon, and we'd go down and she'd ride the horse and I'd sit in my car and cross stitch at the stable. So yeah, that's the strangest places I've stitched, I guess, other than my house. Number 2, what is your next favorite hobby? I actually have 2 hobbies other than cross stitching. Well, I have 3, I guess, because crochet is a hobby, but I don't do it like a hobby. Like, I crochet, but it's not something I'm passionate about. I scrapbook a lot. I've been scrapbooking ever since my kids were babies, and my daughter is 16 now, so I've been scrapbooking since about 17 years, I guess. I love it. I enjoy it. It's something different. When I lose my stitchy bug, I'll go scrapbook for a while and spend some time with my paper and embellishments, and then and make some cards, and then my stitchy bug will come back. So scrapbooking. The second hobby is geocaching. I absolutely love to geocache. Not in the winter, because our winters are really harsh and wet and damp and cold. But I do like to geocache I'm a fair weather cacher, I guess. And for those of you who don't know what geocaching is, it is basically a high-tech treasure hunt. You use GPS coordinates to locate items, boxes or containers that have been hidden all over the world. A lot of them are in parks or hiking trails, but there's a lot in urban areas as well that are hidden right in plain sight, and you would never know they were there until you go looking for them. So if anyone's interested in finding out what geocaching is, you can actually go to geocaching.com. I'll try and put a link in the description if I can figure out how to get that to work, because sometimes when I upload my videos I can't always put information in the description box. So I'll put a link in if I can, and you can learn more about it. I love it. It gets me outside, it gets me doing something, it gets me active. So geocaching. Number 3, to smoke or not to smoke? Not to smoke. I've never been a smoker. I will never be a smoker. I do like my occasional glass of wine, but that would be my only vice, really, I guess, other than my occasional cup of coffee. Number 4, what is your favorite social media to post on? I guess you're stitching other than YouTube. Facebook. I'm on the Stitch Mania site, and I'm also on Cross Stitches Fun. And the other one will be Instagram. My Instagram account, for anyone who's interested, is Pammy Papers, if you want to follow me on that. And I'll try and put a link to that in the description box as well. But yeah, so I love Instagram. I post instant because it's just quick. You just take a picture and post it. Take a picture and post it. It's easy. Facebook, I am on that. I don't tend to accept friend requests from people that I do not know personally. I've only accepted a couple of people from the Flosstube community that are people that I typically engage with a lot, like that I talk to a fair bit, and that we've become friends, and then I accept them. My Facebook is, I just keep it personal. So don't get offended if you request me on Facebook and I don't accept your friend request, because I try and keep, I guess, some of that more personal. Let's see, favorite social media number 5. Do you model stitch, or have you ever model stitched? No, I do not. I never have. I probably never will. It would seem too much like a job to me, I think. I've stitched lots of stuff and given it away, but I don't want to stitch something simply because someone needs me to stitch it, or they want me to stitch it, or I have to do it because I feel passionate about that piece, and otherwise I won't put the time and effort into it, and it'll turn into like a laborious chore that I don't want to do. Number 6, to wash or not wash. I wash my projects. Every single piece that I have done over the years, any of the larger pieces that I have done, I have washed them all. I've touched wood. I've never had a problem with washing them. I usually just soak them in some mild dish soap, give them a little swish around. I hand wash them. And then I lay them out, I wring them out in a towel. And then to get the excess water out, then I lay them out flat, and then I iron them face down on a fluffy towel so that the stitching all kind of puffs and comes to life. I wash every single piece I do, except for something tiny like this. I won't wash this. I'll just iron it really well and frame it. But everything else I do, I wash. And I think part of that comes from, even if it doesn't look dirty, I know the oils from your hands, like your natural skin oils and stuff, can be very, what's the word I'm looking for? Damaging over time, deteriorating over time. I know that from working with scrapbooking supplies, because the natural acidity levels in your skin will actually break down lignin in paper, and can actually damage stuff over time. So if you want something to last years and years, I like to know that it's been washed and it's as clean as it possibly can be before I go through the trouble of matting it and framing it. Number 7, if you use a digital program, which program do you use? I don't really use a digital program. Most of my projects that I stitch are paper format, because I prefer paper. I prefer to, and I'll show you this chart because it's my own pick-to-pat thing, and God help anyone who wants. But I prefer this. I prefer having my chart, all 5,250 stitches on one page, and highlighting it as I go and marking where I've parked. I like that. I like having the hard copy in my hand. I don't like to use digital. I do have a digital program on my iPad that I've used for some smaller things. What is it called? It's not Goodreader. It's a freebie one. that you can, it's a freebie that I downloaded, that I forget the name of it, darn it. It's a freebie that you can download, and it allows you to draw on photographs. So because it allows you to draw on photographs, I can actually choose like a round tip stylus size brush, and I can actually draw lines and highlight over symbols. But it was completely free, and I forget the name of it. Last question. What do you do with your finished projects? I frame them. I have never turned a project into a pillow or a wall hanging or a pin cushion or a or an anything other than frame them. I frame almost all my pieces. I have a couple downstairs that are not framed, but they will be framed at some point. But bless me. But hay fever this time of year is wicked. But I do not do anything with them other than frame them. Every piece I've ever done, I have framed. Yeah, so that's it. So that's the end of Cyndi's tag. Thanks so much to listen to me ramble on. Again, I want to just express, my gratitude to everybody on Flosstube. Thank you so much. Thank you for all my subscribers, and thank you for everybody listening to me ramble every month. And thanks for all the support. I love the comments. I love it that, people provide support to each other, and, you can ask questions and get answers back. You can find out about stuff that you never would have found out about, like this whole parking technique. I've been stitching for over 20 years, and until I watched Carolyn's video, hey Carolyn, I had no idea how to do parking, none whatsoever. I had never tried it, never attempted it. Watched her video, decided I would try it on my dad's project, and it is working fantastically. Would I use it all the time? Probably not, because I'm such a cross-country stitcher, but would I use it again on another project that had a lot of confetti? You betcha. It's amazing. I'm learning new stuff every day. Up to a couple months ago, I had never even stitched on anything other than Ada. I've tried even weave. I love it. Absolutely love it. So thank you so much for all the support, and everybody have a great stitching day, and we'll see you soon. Bye.